Minglaba and welcome to Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin and we've got the latest news and reports. Yangon Region Transport Authority said they have assigned 95 people to test YPS service. And as Hluttaw continued its fourth day of the 15th regular session, it approved bail on Microfinance. Story coverage on 114th year anniversary of Yangon Zoological Garden. And the last report focusing on civics cartoon for kids attracting children. We'll definitely get to the reports in a while, but before that, let's take a look at some local news. State Councillor of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, Daw Aung San Suu Kyi, received the MEDEF International Business Delegation from France, led by Ambassador of France to Myanmar, Christian Lachevie, on Wednesday in Naypyidaw. During the meeting, the officials exchanged views on the investment climate and economic reforms in Myanmar, and they also discussed matters on the investment opportunities for French companies in Myanmar, as well as potential cooperation between the two countries in the areas of economic trade, agriculture, energy, and infrastructure. Union Minister for Health and Sports Dr. Myan Tway urged his staff to continue raising a high alert on the prevention of 2019 novel coronavirus. Senior health officers and officials from relevant state departments held their daily coordination meeting in Naypyidaw Wednesday morning. Union Minister Dr. Myan Tway also discussed the ongoing spread of 2019 novel coronavirus in Asia, ASEAN and other countries, screening passengers at the airports. Current estimates of the incubation period of the virus range from 2 to 10 days and crucial period at the moment. He also advised to analyze news on social media pages and international media organizations and to watch internet web pages of WHO, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention of the United States, and official Chinese media. The Union Minister also called for publishing update news about the disease at the Ministry of Health and Sports website. Health officials in Namsan Township of Shan State began testing those returning from Muse and China for the coronavirus since Tuesday. Officials from the township and ward administration departments and police have been cooperating with the health officials on the coronavirus preventive measures at Township General Hospital, which include pamphlets distribution. All those who returned on Tuesday tested negative. Also on Wednesday, health officials, township administration officials, and police tested the commuters at the entrance to Mongpiet Township of Shan State for the coronavirus. Pamphlets and face masks were also distributed in preventive measures. All the commuters tested negative, according to the Information and Public Relations Department. That's all with the local news, and here's the first report on Myanmar Today. Yangon Region Transport Authority at its regular meeting on Wednesday said 95 people are assigned to test the Yangon payment service devices. The YRTA is in the process of implementing the payment card system to deliver a more efficient payment system to the commuters. Measures to digitize the payment system began last year. Akaito reports.
Yangon Region Transport Authority YRTA at its regular meeting on February 5th said that 95 people are assigned to test the YPS devices and cards. So far, the YPS devices have been installed in 1,890 YBS buses for the first pilot project. The authority said the pilot project is set to complete on 9th of February. The YRTA is in the process of implementing the payment card system to deliver more efficient payment system to the commuters. Yangon Bus System YBS is the main transportation mode of the commercial city Yangon. Of about 7 million people living in Yangon, about 2 million commuters use public transport every day. Hluttaw, Joint Secretary of Yangon Region Transport Authority YRTA, provided updates on the YBS system.
We are trying our best to ensure the YPS card system runs with as little flaw as possible. Since it has to do with cash, we really need to be careful in operating the devices. This pilot project for the card system started in early January and it's set to complete in February 9. If everything is set, we will start running the system soonest.
Payment card YPS devices are installed on 500 buses from the Yangon Urban Public Transport Company, 500 buses of the Yangon Bus Public Company, 300 buses from Bandula Company, on over 80 buses from Hluttaw Company. Currently, the Asia Starmer Transport Intelligence Company, the tender-winning payment service provider, has checked nearly all buses prior to installing the machines. There are about 5 million daily commutes made by estimated 2 million passengers, and YBS service is the main transportation mean for this daily commute in Yangon. U Aunginimo, Managing Director of Yangon Region Transport Authority, gave details on how the pilot project is being conducted.
As mentioned, we have installed YBS e-ticket machines on 1,890 buses, and we are also running tests and pilot project on top-up cards with G&G convenience stores. To ensure the system is running properly and to get the manual feedback, we assigned 95 staff in yellow shirts to run tests on devices as passengers. They would test the devices and cards by using them in different scenarios, different distances, and so on. Yes, we do have record provided by the device, but this is just automatic, and we will also take into account the manual feedback as well.
System is how many so re chini ma mat tai ma yaw de kha ma di set ka de yo ju ye hala thwat paw la me be ni ya ho.
Measures to digitize the payment system started since 2019. The Yangon bus service will implement the card payment system in order to solve the problem or shortage of notes and to discontinue using the cash box system. Currently, passengers using the YBS bus lines have to drop the fare into a cash box. As the first phase, 1,500 YBS buses were installed with the payment card devices. At the end of 2019, the YRTA managed to install the devices on 1,480 YBS buses, excluding the ones that need to be repaired. So far, over 2,000 devices have been installed on over 1,890 buses. Tests and checks are conducted, and causes behind technical failures have been scrutinized and identified in advance. This is Agajo reporting for Myanmar International Radio.
That's a report on 95 people assigned to test YPS service. Alright, it's time now to check on the weather forecast in Myanmar. There's plenty of sunshine in Yangon during the day, while the night will be clear. The highest temperature for the day will be at 34 degrees Celsius and the lowest will be at 17 degrees Celsius. In Naypyidaw, there's also plenty of sunshine during the day, while the night will have clear skies. The highest temperature for the day will be at 33 degrees Celsius and the lowest will be at 14 degrees Celsius. It's a beautiful weather in Mandalay, but with more sun than clouds during the day, and the night sky will be partly cloudy. The highest temperature for the day will be at 30 degrees Celsius and the lowest will be at 13 degrees Celsius. We're back to our reports now, and we'll check on the stocks and currency exchange rates after this report. On the fourth day of Hluttaw's 15th regular session, Hluttaw approved the bill on microfinance submitted by Banks and Monetary Affairs Development Committee with remarks and corrections by Hluttaw Bill Committee.
Hluttaw Bill Committee analyzed the bill on microfinance submitted by Hluttaw Banks and Monetary Affairs Development Committee, and the Hluttaw has allowed the representatives to present the discussions about corrections and comments. Hluttaw Bill Committee met with the Hluttaw representatives who wanted to discuss the bill, Public Accounts Committee, Citizens Fundamental Rights Committee, Economic and Financial Development Committee, Investment and Industrial Development Committee, the Office of the Attorney General, and Ministry of Planning, Finance and Industry. And 135 corrections were agreed and submitted to Hluttaw. On the fourth day of Hluttaw's 15th regular session, Lieutenant Colonel Tin Lin Wu, Hluttaw representative from Tampere, submitted his option of 1 point.
In Myanmar Stamp Act, the responsible ministry has to submit to Hluttaw to exempt microfinance loan from taxation. I think that after getting the approval from Hluttaw, it will be included in the law and stamp duty exemption will be allowed legally. So I request the Hluttaw to assume exemption of registration for any contract for loan from microfinance institutions instead of exemptions of both registration and stamp duty.
စဉ်းစားသုံးသပ်ဆုံးဖြတ်ပေးနိုင်မှုဒီပြင်ဆင်ချက်အဆိုကိုတင်သွင်းရခြင်းဖြစ်ပါတယ်။
ပိုင်း58နဲ့ဇာလင်းပြီးပြင်ဆင်ချက်အဆိုတင်သွင်းဖို့ဥပဒေကြမ်းကော်မတီကိုဖိတ်ခေါ်ပါတယ်။
ဒီစိုက်ပျိုးရေးနဲ့မွေးမြူရေးကိုအခြေခံပြီးတော့နေတဲ့လူဒန်းစားတွေအတွက်ကိုဒါကျွန်တော်တို့ကအမတ်ကပစ္စည်းမှပါပဲပေးတာဖြစ်ပါတယ်
We aim this microfinance bill for the people who are working in agriculture and livestock sector. A person can borrow maximum allowance of 10 million kyats with at most 28% annual interest. We allow the loan of microfinance without collateral. Moreover, in the current Microfinance Business Act, the exemptions of both registration and stamp duty are allowed. So I want to request the Hluttaw to allow the correction of Bill Committee to allow exemptions of registration and stamp duty for any contract of loans from microfinance institutions.
ဒါကြောင့်မို့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဥပဒေကြမ်းကော်မတီရဲ့ပြင်ဆင်ချက်ပေါ်မှာလွှတ်တော်ကအတည်ပြုပေးနိုင်ပါရန်လေးစားစွာတင်ပြပါတယ်
Most of the people who borrow from microfinance institutions take the loan frequently with small amount at one time. Since the Ministry of Planning, Finance and Industry has the responsibility for the process of registration and stamp duty, it has to perform many procedures which will take more time for the busy middle-class people. Therefore, Ministry of Planning, Finance and Industry also agreed with the correction of the Bill Committee.
ဆန္ဒမဲပေးနိုင်ကြပါပြီ
With more votes in favor, the session was allowed according to the correction of Hluttaw Bill Committee. Finally, with the remarks and corrections, Hluttaw approved the bill on microfinance submitted by Banks and Monetary Affairs Development Committee.
တဘောမတူတဲ့သူမရှိတဲ့အတွက်ပြည်သူ့လွှတ်တော်ဗန်များနဲ့ငွေကြေးဆိုင်ရာဖွံ့ဖြိုးတိုးတက်ရေးကော်မတီကတင်သွင်းတော့အသေးစားငွေကြေးရေးဥပဒေကြမ်းတစ်ရပ်လုံးကိုပြင်ဆင်ထားသည့်အပိုက်ခွဲများအတိုင်းအတည်ပြုကြောင်းနဲ့
The purpose of the bill on microfinance is to enhance the livelihood of the citizens, to create employment, to encourage small and medium enterprises and family businesses, to prevent the risks of financial loss by sharing financial knowledge, and to establish the inclusive financial setup of all citizens. This is Dora Suizin reporting from MI Radio.
That's a report on Hluttaw approving the bill on microfinance. And now we have information on currency rates from Myanmar Central Bank. $1 is at 1,449 kyats. 1 Chinese renminbi is at 207 kyats. 1 euro is at 1,600 kyats. 1 pound sterling is at 1,891 kyats. 1 Singapore dollar is at 1,050 kyats. 1 Malaysian ringgit is at 351 kyats. 1 Thai baht is at 46 kyats and the Indian rupee is at 20 kyats. Gold is trading at $1,554. Silver is at $17. And Brent crude oil is at $51. On the Yangon Stock Exchange, FMI went up 500 and it's at 11,500. MTSH is at 4,000. MCB dropped 200 and it's at 8,200. FPB is at 23,500. TMH is at 2,850. You're with MI Radio's Myanmar Today. If you want to watch or listen to more programs from our station, you can just visit our website, miradio.com.mm, or tune in to 96.1 FM in Yangon, 96.5 in Mandalay, and 96.7 in Naypyidaw. But of course, if you prefer to have it within your grasp, you can download our app on both iOS and Android platforms. Search by typing Myanmar INTL Radio and you'll find the app. Download it on your devices so you can listen to our radio shows on the go. Stay with us as we bring you more reports on Myanmar Today. Yangon Zoological Garden, which was opened in 1906, is the oldest and second largest zoo in Myanmar. It has reached its 114th year anniversary, and it celebrated the day with animals performance shows and entertainment programs by various singers. Our reporters Pomo and Soyadana went to the celebration and saw those lovely animals showing off their talent. Take a look at the report.
Zoos brings the wildlife closer to humans. Visiting zoos helps people learn practical knowledge about the animal and gives them exposure to wildlife and widens knowledge. Zoos ensure the safe animal breeding ground by getting all the nutrition in animals' bodies to lead a healthy life. The Yangon Zoological Garden, which is opened in 1906, is the oldest and second largest zoo in Myanmar on Gabai Pagoda Road. The 70-acre recreational park with a museum of natural history, an aquarium, and an amusement park. It has reached 114 years of establishment, and the 114th anniversary is held on 1st and 2nd February there. There are food and product fair and the entertainment programs by various singers. The zoo has 47 mammal species, 68 bird species, 21 reptile species, over 300 species of flora, the Museum of Natural History, and aquarium. The animals' performance shows are performed on weekends and public holidays. The entrance fees are 1,000 jets for adults and 500 jets for kids. Visitors can also have experiences in riding on buggy cars, duck boats, riding on elephants, adventurous zip lines, photo shootings with the puppets, the 66-year-old elephant called Momo, the aquariums and the historical museums. Matuzamo said how she sells the foods for elephants.
The visitors come here more on weekends and public holidays, so I get more customers on holidays. Here, the elephants like to eat sugarcane only, but when they get bored of eating sugarcane for 2 or 3 hours, we have to feed bananas. And then they don't want to eat banana anymore, so they eat sugarcane again. So I sell both sugarcane and banana.
Yangon Zoo includes part of Kanoji Lake. Some animals have been moved to the zoo in the new capital Naypyidaw in 2008. There are still many animal species and visitors still enjoy feeding animals and watching them.
For me, I love to see this kind of festivals in our country. It has improved a lot in safety and cleanings. Some animals are moved to the Naypyidaw Zoological Garden, so there are only a few number of animals and animal species left here. For example, the number of tigers have reduced for moving some other tigers to Naypyidaw. So, I want the animals to have the same number in both zoos.
Yangon Zoological Garden, first collection of wild animals initiated since 1882. It was named Victoria Memorial Park in 1906. A natural history museum, which is also a part of the zoo, was opened on 1966, and also children and teenagers' favorite attraction, an amusement park, was opened on 1997.
That's a report on the 114th year anniversary of Yangon Zoological Garden. And here's the last report on civics cartoon for kids attracting children. Civics cartoon exhibition with the aim to inculcate reading habits among children was held from the 1st to the 3rd of February at Mahabandula Park in downtown Yangon. According to the event organizing committee, since the exhibition was first held in some of the major cities in Upper Myanmar, it has attracted several people, mostly children. Williamson has the details.
Civics Cartoon for Kids exhibition organized by Myanmar Cartoon Association is being held across Myanmar, especially in some of the major cities, and it also came to its exhibition in Yangon from 1 to 3rd of January at Mahabandula Park in downtown Yangon. This exhibition is held with the aim to encourage the children and inspire them to have a habit of reading books and build a good morality with them. The works of around 30 cartoonists are on display at this exhibition, where the kids have a chance to learn civics and other moral teachings by watching the cartoons. According to the event organizing committee members, since it was first held in Upper Myanmar in some of major cities, it has attracted a huge number of children everywhere these cartoons are on display. Speaking to MI Radio, Maung Shwe Win, a cartoonist who is also the event organizer for the event, said,
There
was a time when I had a chance to attend dinner party with one of the top officials from the government side, and the question concerning on the children was raised, asking what cartoonists can do for the children and contribute to the growth in all aspects of life. At the moment, there was no answer to this question. And then we continued to ponder upon this question, and after 2 weeks, we got the answer to this question. The answer was to hold civics cartoon exhibition for the kids like this. For the last 4 years, we have been thinking about holding civics cartoon exhibition. But due to several reasons, we could not have organized the exhibition. As the theme itself is civics cartoon show for kids, we want to convey a message of guiding kids for do's and don'ts, and mainly we want the children to read books. Making kids read books will eventually give them a habit to read books. Only reading books can bring effective changes to their mentality and attitude. Let's just not blame the kids for their mistake and that they commit, but take them to where guidance are provided and teach them the right way.
Pong Pong is also a cartoonist who took part in this exhibition, and he also spoke to MI Radio on why cartoon exhibition like this is important for the kids. He also said,
The main objective is many of the kids are not well aware about the civics in our country. Though we have civics-related subjects in school textbooks, we don't see much of improvement in learning it. And another important thing to note is when it comes to teaching the kids, instead of teaching them orally, the kids can easily learn and remember what they learn through picture and illustration. That's the reason why we are trying to convey our message to the kids on what to do and what not to do through cartoon. Kids who cannot yet read can also learn about civics through illustration with the guidance of adults.
The exhibition was first organized in Pyongyang in Children Literature Festival, which was held on 13 to 14 of January. The exhibition attracted several children, and according to the report by the event organizing committee, attracting more people than expected. In this exhibition, some of the old cartoon works of some of the renowned cartoonists are also on being displayed, along with 19 other cartoonists participating in this exhibition. The exhibition at Mahabandula Park began from 1st of February to 3rd of February, and it will be held in Naypyidaw and Pyongyang from 8 to 15 of February, 3 days each in Naypyidaw and Pyongyang, and planning to cover more cities further. Giving his message to the children, Maung Shwe Win also said,
In order to adopt a reading habit for the kids, it has to begin from watching and reading cartoons. The kids need to give more time for reading, though there may be many other school activities on learning and studying, but they must be given a separate time for reading for personal growth. Only inculcating reading habit will bring good leaders for our nation in the future.
This is Winston for MI Radio.
That's all the reports on Myanmar today. The world is constantly hit by natural disasters, outbreaks of health crises, climate change at its peak, animals dying at an alarming rate, and things are escalating so quickly that I believe we should keep up with the news from around the globe, and I hope to do it right for you. So let's take a turn to some international news and find out what's happening around the world. The U.S. Senate on Wednesday voted to acquit Donald Trump 7 weeks after the House of Representatives impeached the U.S. president on 2 charges: abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Trump has always maintained he did nothing wrong, much less impeachable, in what he's called his perfect call with Ukraine's president back in July. Democrats saw it very differently. They said he solicited foreign help against a political foe, putting pressure on Volodymyr Zelensky to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden by withholding millions in military aid. And then, they argued, he interfered with their investigations. Wednesday's vote was largely based on party lines, but there was one notable dissension. Utah Senator and former Republican presidential hopeful Mitt Romney voted to remove Trump from office.
I'm aware that there are people in my party and in my state who will strenuously disapprove of my decision, and in some quarters I will be vehemently denounced. I'm sure to hear abuse from the president and his supporters. Does anyone seriously believe that I would consent to these consequences other than from an inescapable conviction that my oath before God demanded it of me?
China has not only taken the national level measures to defend the new type of pneumonia's spreading, but played a major role of responsibility to openly and transparently cooperate with global communities and countries since the outbreak of novel coronavirus shocked the ground in recent 3 consecutive months. Dr. Gordon Gallier is the representative of the World Health Organization. He timely inspected Wuhan days ago, as invited by the Chinese government, and got an opportunity to see the real weather of the city. And now he shares his latest knowledge on and opinions on World Insight with Tian Wei.
The Wuhan government issued a notice, a public notice of the recognition of a outbreak of a cluster of atypical pneumonia at the end of last year, specifically on the 31st of December. We were immediately alerted by that, entered into a rapid discussion with the National Health Commission, and shortly thereafter, on the 3rd of January, our own office met with the National Health Commission, and there was an international notice under the international health regulations. Since then, the progress has been on a number of lines. We have had regular meetings with the National Health Commission. As we record this interview, my next appointment on my calendar is actually to attend and to listen to one of these technical briefings. So we have, as the National Health Commission has compiled the data and is able to provide a new milestone of understanding, we get that delivered to us, and we are able to spread it through WHO. On a daily basis, the government has been providing the latest updates on numbers of cases and contacts being identified. Equally importantly is the laboratory side, where within days of the initial recognition of the cluster, the virus was identified. Scrupulous hand hygiene, avoid handshaking, avoid the contact with surfaces that might be soiled. Food hygiene, respiratory etiquette, use your elbows to cover nose and mouth if you're coughing and sneezing. Social distancing, reduce the number of meetings that you have with people, whether avoidance of crowds, avoidance of physical meetings in offices. If one can reduce these numbers of contacts, we have a great chance of interrupting transmission.
Turkish Health Minister Fahrettin Koca announced 3 are dead and 179 others are wounded after a plane slid off the runway at Istanbul's Sahiba Gökçen International Airport on Wednesday. Istanbul Governor Ali Yerlikaya said in a tweet that the accident happened at 6:19 p.m. local time, when a plane from Turkey's Pegasus Airlines with 183 people, including 6 crew members on board, skidded off the runway shortly after landing. Video footage aired by Turkish TV broadcasters showed that the front part of the aircraft was torn apart and the plane was split into 3 parts. That's a wrap, and thanks for joining me on Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. Have a good day, everyone. I'll see you again tomorrow. Goodbye now.